These days, unfortunately, cancer affects everyone. And many of you, I'm sure, have had similar experiences to me where people we love have been diagnosed with cancer, for some diagnosed too late. We at CanSense are offering an alternative future, diagnosing the very earliest stages of cancer and even pre-cancer, saving people's lives. Our patented technology is designed to initially detect the very earliest signs of bowel cancer, significantly reducing cancer mortality, and in doing so, significantly reducing the burden on the healthcare providers. And the why now is because we're able to harness high throughput spectroscopy with AI technologies, provide an accurate decision support tool for primary care doctors. And bowel cancer is the third biggest cancer killer. It's on the rise globally and also on the rise within the under 50s. And yet 60% of patients are still being diagnosed with late stages with only limited chance of survival, when if detected early, it is in the most part treatable and even curable. We need more accessible at the GP and more acceptable away from fecal testing and colonoscopy testing. The current system is failing. Patients are telling us their reluctance to go and see the GP, not wanting to do current fecal tests or have an invasive colonoscopy. In some poor regions in the UK, as low as 50% are doing fecal screening tests when asked, the very areas we really need to reach. The GP is left trying to manage the risk with vague symptoms with no accurate tools to help, not wanting to miss cancers clearly, but just can't refer all into secondary care, which is already in capacity crisis and with a 10-year backlog due to COVID. And payers do recognise the unmet need, but have huge budget constraints, as we know, and challenges with innovation adoption, all leading to poor detection and poor survival. CanSense are a B2B service provider, testing lab and analytics platform procured by healthcare providers on a fee per test basis. Blood is taken at the GP, sent to our testing lab, and utilising laser spectroscopy, we sample the blood in less than 15 minutes, have no costly reagents like our competitors, producing a unique spectral fingerprint for each patient, which our AI-based model is then trained to identify the very biomarkers associated with bowel cancer. Just, if you will, imagine a barcode reader for the blood. And the CanSense solution addresses all the major problems. A patient-focused familiar blood test done at the GP, used by GPs as a tool to refer into secondary care those at highest risk and rapidly reassure the many that they just don't have cancer, reducing the backlog. The value to the payers is key, a cost saving of $265 million a year in the reduction of colonoscopies, along with further savings in late-stage cancer treatment costs. And the market is worth well over $1 billion, with companies operating in a space focused on DNA changes within the blood, with limited success rates for the early detection of cancer and costing hundreds of dollars per test. Ours is a unique approach, diagnosing the very earliest signs of cancer in a quick and affordable method. We recognise selling to the NHS is tough, so we have a two-pronged route to market strategy, continuing to build on our clinical trials with GPs to better triage their patients in public but also private practice, and working with pharmaceutical companies, supporting their clinical trials for bowel cancer, which can add real revenue into the business earlier. We have a well-supported four-step strategy for adoption and scale over the next 36 months, taking us from a centralized laboratory service provider to being an AI data center with integrated machines, with our first adoption site being identified with a letter of intent. Now, the cancer screening market is vast. All providers are focused on value-based healthcare, and our test fits well with this. Our big market vision is for our test to be used in general population screening and globally, in regions that simply don't have any testing like India and Africa, and looking for other cancers like lung and pancreatic, so we can be that affordable single multi-cancer blood test. And validation has come from winning major non-dilutive funding award with full peer review, winning academic awards and business accelerators like Microsoft. And our team is passionate, and we bring together business, clinical, technical acumen, and is based on 7 years of working together. And we're robustly supported by a wider advisory board, including the clinical director for cancer in Wales. And we today are looking for 500 in equity funding, adding to our amazing 1.2 million in non-dilutive money already committed. So we can build on the team, develop the product to obtain regulatory success. And the likely investor exit strategy is for us to be acquired by a large player in the testing market like an Agilent or Roche. And I'll finish there. And I'll ask for you to please reach out if you would like to help build an alternative future, reducing cancer mortality and saving more people's lives. Thank you.